Hello, I'm Terry Power. My granddaughter Megan has asked me to give you a little bit of a clip into some interesting little story from the Canadian military. I had the honor of serving with the Black Watch of Canada when it was a regular force, an infantry battalion, and it stayed alive until the current Prime Minister's father, Prime Minister Trudeau Sr., disbanded us in the 70s. And so my story revolves around that. As a member of the Black Watch, I was stationed at the headquarters in Halifax, and part of my side duties is I was asked to serve as aide-de-camp for Victor Oland, the Lieutenant Governor at that time. The Oland family is a well-known Canadian family. Oland's Brewery is out of Halifax. You may be familiar with the title, certainly I am on every Friday night. Cousins to the Olands in St. John, New Brunswick. In any event, part of the duty of the aide and my wife, we were to attend a dinner with President Tito and his wife. It was a small group with the governor and his wife and a few other folks from the Nova Scotian government and the senior security people from Tito's entourage. And we had a nice dinner at the government house. And then shortly thereafter, they were doing a special luncheon for a lot of folks down at the local hotel, about 2 blocks away from Government House. And so we all left, and the Queen Austin from the governor, and went in an entourage down, a packet down. And at the time, there were some threats about somebody trying to shoot Tito, and the RCMP were quite concerned. So we had a briefing just before we left about the concern for that. And off we went to the dinner, and I'm in Highline kit with my hairy sporn and short skirts and things like that. Anyway, we got out of the cars, and as we got out, the local constabulary, the police force for Halifax, were not briefed. They knew about the threat to Tito, but weren't threat that 2 cars back were all the bodyguards in civilian clothes that belonged to Tito. So as we stepped out and got ready to go towards the front door, these three folks came running out of the back car towards Tito. The police in there got quite concerned about these folks running, given the warning that we had, and so they come rushing down off the steps. And this is before 9/11 and laser guns and people shooting each other. It ended up in a bit of a brawl. Everybody sort of wrestling with each other and over the ground. And in broken English, many of the bodyguards were not that fluent. English is second language in English. And so they're banging their chest saying, me bodyguard, as the governor and the President Tito step over them to go into the luncheon. During the luncheon, we got another message from the RCMP that said we had to get back to Government House immediately, as they couldn't offer security there. And so we came rushing out with the governor and the Minister Tito in tow, and off we went rushing back to Government House. And in the confusion and the rush to get out of there, Mrs. Oland, a very fine, genteel lady, was left. And as a result, she walked 2 blocks that night in her high heels and her gown all the way back to Government House. And she came through the back door. She was madder than a hornet, and talked to the Lieutenant Governor and said, Victor, if you ever do that again. And that was it. So it was a wonderful story, and it resonated with me. It was a wonderful time to serve in the military, and pause for a minute and think of those folks that still continue to serve in harm's way for us.